Welcome to our second Speedrunner Showcase with Atham. This time, Atham put together a monstrous PB of 38-22, and I actually saw this live, so even though I am kind of verifying this, that's kind of a formality, because I already know it's legit. And welcome, Atham. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Ready to, I don't know, see what I did wrong.
Ready to see what you did wrong, see what you did right. Well, 38-22 is obviously very respectable, so let's get right into it and see how it goes.
Let's go.
Let's go. So this one, one of the things I think is really cool about your PB now is that you actually set this just a couple days after your previous PB, didn't you?
Yeah. Didn't I say something like...
I'm gonna go set a new PB now so we can do this video.
Yeah.
It's basically what you said, and then you basically just went on and did that in like 2 or 3 attempts, whatever the case was.
Fulfilling prophecy. Easy.
Yeah, obviously you just, you set a PB. That's
yeah, that's something you do.
And a pretty significant PB as well, because showing here
like
39-28, and your claim time for this was a 38-52 or 22 or something. We'll see it at the end.
Yeah, wasn't that the race one?
Whatever the case was, yeah. You just set this new PB, and you came in here to stomp out a new one, which is really cool. So good job.
Gotta love it. Oh man, I barely made that one.
Yeah. So what was your mentality going into this?
My mentality, I was looking at the leaderboards.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, these guys at the top are like 5 minutes ahead of me. So I should be able to improve, right?
Yes.
There's got to be lots of mistakes.
There's room for improvement, yep.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Well, this is interesting.
Oh, whoops.
Now, if I were to characterize this run based on what I remember from the live stream, this was kind of the run of saves. And we'll be seeing those coming up for sure, of would-be mistakes that could have lost you a lot of time but turned into some really hype moments. And I'm looking forward to those for sure.
Because when you get these saves, it's hard to tell how much luck you're having and how much you're actually saving it, you know?
Yeah. Because you still do lose time on the saves, but that doesn't matter because...
yeah, because it looks cool.
Because it looks cool. That is important. It is important that it looks cool. And also, compared to another run where you didn't get the save, you are definitely... it's definitely a big improvement.
Yeah.
Alright, so you came in with a 2:15 Chapter 1, which is pretty decent, but not going to make or break anyone's runs.
Yeah.
And at this point, as you're just getting started on the run, what are you looking forward to as the things that you're going to be watching out for, or are going to be challenging you, or things like that? What are you looking forward to in the run at this point as you're playing?
I'm trying to think. I guess like the big levels, the big skips on chapter 3,
Okay.
At least.
That's where the skips really get started, right?
Yeah. Because that's where you're like, okay, I'm resetting a lot.
Yep.
It sucks.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why chapter 3 runs are actually kind of popular in the chapter hierarchy, is because there's just so many tricks involved.
Yeah, because I hate resetting, man. It's so boring.
Yeah.
You feel like people are watching, and you're oh man, this one. Not lucky at all.
That was an interesting technique you had for the bumper there. I think.
Technique.
I mean, it works.
Sure. Yeah, I think I did the same thing like on the run before, like exactly the same.
Yep.
Saved it somehow.
So yeah, as most people who run this game understand, the run really gets started. Ooh, on the step. That step's annoying, but you could have definitely lost a lot more time there. What was I saying? Yeah, the run really gets started on chapter 3, so everything we're watching here is just really small opportunities for time saves or improvements or time losses. I mean, you can lose a run here in chapter 2, but it's pretty unlikely. Usually you'll just lose 5 or 10 seconds here and there, and for most runners, that's not enough to force a reset.
Maybe soon it will be.
Maybe soon, yeah.
No, but I usually reset on Archipelago.
Archipelago, yeah.
Yeah.
If you miss Archipelago, then if you miss it once, you'll reset?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on my mood, I guess.
Well, I can't remember. I guess we'll see it in a moment. I can't remember if it was this run or the next one where you did a very different kind of Archipelago.
Oh yeah, I messed up, I think. I mean, a lot of these levels I just don't practice at all.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah, so I never learn a proper strat, so I just go for it and get a decent time, usually.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's not worth practicing, because I think it is, but...
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so it was the previous run where you'd gone for the two islands.
Yeah, some sort of backup strat.
Yeah. And this time you made it. Are you getting any stream delay? How much behind are you on the video?
So. Right
Not really.
now, 56, 57, 8.
Okay. So just like 3 or 4 seconds. That's not bad at all.
That's fine.
All right, Thread the Needle's coming up, and you're finally at the home stretch of this early run. So how much had you been playing, I guess, in the previous couple of weeks before you set this PB?
Previous couple of weeks. I mean, the previous couple of months, I barely played anything but challenges.
Yep.
Because I don't practice runs, really. I just go for it.
Right. So would you say that you were kind of rusty, or were you in good practice, or?
Okay, for this run, I was kind of in good practice because I had done some runs and challenges a lot.
Like in the previous week or the previous couple days?
Couple of weeks, I guess.
Couple weeks, okay.
But before that, I don't know, only challenges basically.
Yeah. How many attempts of RTA would you say that you did leading up to this one?
I think I always stream when I do attempts.
Right.
So basically nothing.
Basically nothing. Okay. Well, I mean that goes to show that you're very quick to pick these things up.
So I think that's why I just tend to mess up a lot on these simple levels, if you want to call them that.
Yeah, I don't, a little out of practice.
Yeah, because these big levels, it's like, oh yeah, I know this strat, you know.
Well, on that note, you did have to reset the previous run on elevator action, and then this time you got it perfectly, with sub 20, in fact. So good job there.
I don't know what happened to elevator action for me, because one day I just succeeded almost every time with the big skip, you know. In my previous runs or attempts, I always did the bad skip, you know, the less optimal one.
You're talking about the strategy that I use, aren't you? I know. It's
like
fine.
where you go to the left.
Yeah, a little bit to the left after you launch.
Yeah.
All right, so we're into the run. So you're kind of pretty much on pace with your previous run.
Yeah. I must have saved some time because I was like 18 seconds behind.
Something like that. Actually, I didn't really notice in chapter 2 when your time went from 18 to the +6 or whatever it was.
I think it could have been Sugar Rush actually. Maybe I did a mistake there. Maybe not.
No, it wasn't Sugar Rush. It must have been before that.
Okay. Sure. Oh yeah, off kilter. I hate this level.
Well, this one you ended up doing.
Oh, yeah, I did
no off-kilter skip, and you still end up
lane
saving
strat.
time here.
Yeah, it's not actually that bad.
Certainly
I
not
should go
compared to
bit
your gold. It looks like you were about 6 or 7 seconds behind your gold split on off-kilter, but I mean, that's not bad at all.
It's still a big save because I think I went for it because I knew I messed up hard in my last run. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just do the normal strat.
And just doing the normal strat saves you a lot of time versus restarting.
Yeah,
And
restarting
even if you get
fading.
it second try, it's not worth the time.
Yeah, exactly.
To reset.
So I might just be more happy to do the lame strat in the future because you don't save that much time with this.
Yeah. Again, compared to your gold split, it was only like 7 or 8 seconds slower, right? So it's a very fancy trick, let's say, a flashy trick.
Cool.
So I understand why people like to do it, but for the purposes of getting times in the 38-minute mark, and it's not the most necessary time save. But some people get really consistent at it, so I can, if that's the case, then it's definitely worth the time.
I mean, it's like a thing, you know. People go for it every time, so it feels like you have to.
Yep.
It's like a part of the run.
But really, it's not a big time save like some of the others.
It feels like it's a big time save because of the style.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of style, we're on to Coggers, Cog Valley.
Here we go. Will he make it?
It's just so smooth. Every time I see it, it makes me feel great. And you know what? You don't save any time there, but that's okay, because it just means that you're keeping pace with a first try Cog Valley skip the previous run.
It makes the runs more scary, though. Because you're like, okay, I gotta make this.
Yeah,
or else
that's right.
Yeah, might be a reset.
Yeah, it's like I got a crystalline matrix skip in my current PB, I think, and it's haunted me ever since, because getting it first try is so annoying and so difficult for me.
Yeah, it's extra hard when you're, let's say you're new to speedrunning the game.
Yes, that's right.
And you succeed with the big skip, and every run after that is like pain because you have to make it, or you feel like you have to.
Yep. I really do like this. This is a nice flashy skip as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though I don't think I've ever actually tried it myself.
I think it's easier than it looks.
Easier than it looks, yeah. I'll have
I messed
to
up.
give it a shot.
What happened on my previous run? I'm trying to remember.
Your previous run in Braid? Yeah, it's funny because I watched it on stream, but I can't remember either.
Was it the backup? Yeah, I think so. Where I fell down to the super jump.
Oh, yes, that's totally right. I didn't realize it was a 9-second loss, though. It's
Yeah, that's kind of huge. Huge. Now this is the best map.
Yes. As you can see, Sunspire is the most action-packed level in this category.
I hate these easy levels, man. Because if you mess up on easy level, there's no coming back.
That's right. Especially
like
such a long level like that one, which is like 45 seconds, or more than 45
terrible.
seconds long, because you got the time travels.
Yeah. Time travel should count, right? In RTA? Time travel effect.
Yeah. Just keep telling yourself that. Now this was a really cool kind of adaptation there. You had a weird jump pattern, but you just zipped on through it.
Oh yeah, this is one of these levels I don't actually know the pattern for the super speed at the end, so I just go for it and hope for the best.
I kind of feel the same way. Maybe I know a couple of patterns, but definitely I don't do the fastest one.
Because I'm always super scared on that one.
Yep.
Come in. As you saw in my previous run.
Yep. You breezed through a retrograde rally first try, so good job there.
Yeah, I'm learning this skip somehow. I used to suck at this.
Yeah. So it's interesting. We're in chapter 4, but we're still quite a bit less than halfway through the run. And being 35 seconds ahead, at this point, are you thinking that you really want to extend your lead or just hold on to it?
Oof.
What's going on in your mind there?
Huh. I'm not sure. I guess I'm just really focused. I'm not really thinking of, oh, I'm this far ahead, so I should...
One level at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
I mean, I can barely remember what level... I can't connect level names to levels most of the time.
Right.
For some reason. So I'm like, okay, it's this level. And I don't know. Look around. Think, okay, am I doing trophy strat or or what's happening here?
Well, in this case, exactly, you actually did try to do the trophy strat, and it messed with your brain mid-run, which,
so
as I would comment, is the reason why I will never do trophy runs, because once it gets in your head confusing you, and just a reminder for Umbra in chat that you did say you would quit this game if Atham set a sub 40 with accidentally doing a trophy run strat. So,
I mean, I didn't really commit to it.
Bye, Umbra. It was nice to know you.
Yeah.
All right, Dire Straits coming up, and
yeah, I think I went for a trophy strat because I don't do many RTA runs, right? I don't, because I run it so infrequently.
Yeah.
Which is why I had to think before each level, like, okay, what's the strat here? It's not really super clear for me.
Yeah, sometimes when you're in practice, it just kind of comes automatically. But when you're not in, when you haven't been playing as much, or you've been swapping between categories, that can definitely,
yeah,
that can definitely mix with the wiring in your head.
Yeah, because even now I'm watching myself play, and I'm like, is he doing the trophy strat? What's gonna happen?
That's funny. I really like that Ex Machina. It's a completely different pattern than the one I use. It takes the same amount of time. Ex Machina is pretty linear, but
yeah, I need to watch the other strat because I think I just found that one myself randomly.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen all kinds of different strats, and they're all more or less the same amount of time.
Okay, but is there like an established?
No, there's not really a standard strat.
Okay.
All kinds of different runners just do what works for them, because nothing really saves more than half a second compared to anything else.
Okay, so yeah, basically doesn't matter what you do or what kind of best strats you have. Yeah, and this Diamond in the Sky, I think I practiced this like.
Well, you've been doing it in the weekly challenge, right?
Oh yeah, right. I did.
So that's why you're so familiar with it at the
That's one
moment.
of those levels, yeah. But
very smooth,
I never do
by
that
the way.
strat.
Very smooth, by the way, pulling off that strat and being able to do it during the run.
True.
Well done.
Thank you. Oh, look at that trophy over there. Very nice. Should have gone for it.
Newton's Cradle. We're back in Chapter 5. Chapter 5 may be a little bit less exciting than Chapter 4. At least the first, at least parts of it are. You know, there is...
I see an exciting level coming up in this chapter.
Oh yeah, there's a few. But Staying Alive, unfortunately, not going to be one of them. That is a strategy that, to our knowledge, only Katz's has ever used in a full game run. The Staying Alive skip, which does save an enormous amount of time, but it's also extremely risky. So
I think I'm gonna start doing that one, actually.
You think you're gonna start doing it? It probably the single technique that saves the most amount of time in a run. And that is why it's such a big deal for whether people decide to do it or not to do it here.
Yeah. Like if I'm having a run where I'm, let's say, 30 seconds behind, maybe I'll try it. Just for the fun.
I guess so. And unless you know that you have that much time to save later on in chapter 6 and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I have done it once. I've done this technique, or no, twice. I've actually done this technique, but it was several hours worth of attempts between those two. I did it once on PC and once on Switch. And I assume you've made this strategy before in individual levels. You have a top 5 time, yeah. Which is quite impressive. It is difficult to do.
I'm gonna see if I'm still top 5. I need to know. Yeah, barely.
But yeah, when you're not doing the skip here, there's not much that can go wrong on Staying Alive. Yeah. It's just a moment to sit back, have a drink.
Is it safe to have a drink on Staying Alive?
Oh yeah. You can even get up and have a short bathroom break. It's kind of just this game plays itself on Staying Alive.
You can just
get up and stretch a little bit.
Catch up with the platform, right?
Yeah.
Chill at the start.
Hey, if you have a wireless controller, you could even like go make yourself a snack. You just got to know the jump patterns at the end, I guess.
I guess I would need a long wire for my keyboard.
Long wire. Oh yes, that's right. You could use a wireless controller just for Staying Alive for that purpose. It's you thought controller turning was OP. How about controller AFK?
AFK turning.
AFK turning. That's right.
Disconnect glitch.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that little.
Oh,
it's funny. It's not a big mistake, but it kind of feels. I guess.
Like what?
How does it feel for you? I won't.
It's like it's a mistake that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because of bad practice, I guess.
Yep.
And I was greedy right there. I'm like, yeah, I'm on a good run, and that's when I want to do some. I want to keep going fast.
Yeah, well, we're seeing a lot of green, and anytime you're more than a minute ahead in the green, it's especially ahead of a recent PB. That was your first sub 40, and now you're, almost a minute and a half ahead of that. So
yeah,
you're really feeling confident here, I hope.
I guess I do feel confident, but I'm also like, I don't want to mess things up.
Right. Yeah, you just got to hold on to this this time save you got.
I think Gordian was a wake up call. Like, okay, chill, chill, mate. Don't need to do crazy stuff.
But you didn't do any kind of you didn't try to do the edge hit on Gordian. You went for the super jump strat instead.
Oh yeah, but that's why I always do that one though.
Yeah.
But more how I missed the gem like that because I tried to go fast.
Right.
Fast.
Yeah, it's not worth those tiny potential time saves for
I think
to lose your pace.
Good that I missed it actually.
Kind of got your head back into a clear place. Yeah. That's an interesting perspective. Yeah, it's a small time loss for the amount of sobriety that it gives you.
Yep. Don't get too full of yourself. That's bad.
It certainly is.
All right.
Uphill both ways. Not usually a big cause for problems, but if you do mess up here, it's a pretty significant time loss. Usually.
If I should try some other strats on this one. Is there a faster strat?
This is kind of the standard quick
quick and
uphill
safe
both ways.
strat.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that the fastest runners use in RTA.
Okay.
But I mean, if you want to find some new RTA strats for uphill both ways, by all means, don't let anyone talk you out of that.
Yeah, let me do some tassing.
Honestly, I've tried tassing that level and without much success, honestly. The individual level runners are quite talented. I've pulled off some pretty great things, so even I can't improve too much on those as far as I've been able to tell. And this here, I'll remember earlier we were talking about how this was the run of saves, and that one was
oh my goodness,
probably the scariest save that I've seen.
Yeah, so much is going on.
So much went on there. I'm actually. Let's just go back for an instant replay. I definitely want to watch that again. Where are we? Let me skip ahead. Oh no, I'm messing up this replay. Okay, so here we go. We hit the bumper, hit the gravity, hit the side of the thing. And what's crazy about this is it only puts you behind by 1 cycle. Despite being what would usually end up being a pretty catastrophic mistake. You lose
'cause I'm like 30 seconds in.
Yeah, you lose something like 12 or 13 seconds here or something like that. Yeah,
Wait, do I have a checkpoint? Do you have a checkpoint on this level?
No, not a useful checkpoint at any point during the flip the table route. So basically, oh yeah, you would have lost like 30 seconds.
Like 40 almost, right?
Yeah, perhaps 40. So that was very, very clean.
Oh, that would have sucked it.
to get that save after touching the bumper.
Yeah. So do we say lucky or do we say super skill?
Yep.
Or both.
Yes, we do. But it took a bit of composure there. I know you didn't feel like you were totally in control or anything like that, but you know, some people would have just hit the restart button as soon as they went flying around like that, but you managed to hold on to it.
Fail's good, man.
Fail's good. So you're still almost a minute ahead. You managed to hold on to most of your lead despite the bump. And there's still time to save if you're looking ahead into Chapter 6 from your previous run.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the rest of my run. Did anything cool happen? Anything interesting?
I do know there's at least a very cool save coming up on Head in the Clouds as well.
Right, that one. Yeah.
That we're all looking forward to, and this was just a really good run. And if I were you, I'd be very proud of this.
Yeah, I feel like that's starting to become a theme for my PBs or recent runs. It's no real major mistakes, but a lot of silly mistakes, you know.
Yeah, and I think most everyone kind of deals with those, except for maybe Katz's and Space Kitty at this point in their PBs. I'm sure they still run into those in their non-PBs all the time. But yeah, 26:35 to the finish of Chapter 5 is a very, very good time. So yes, well done getting there in that time. I think I can't really look it up now, but I believe that's quite a bit faster than the old chapters 1 to 5 speedruns from the kind of previous generation of speedrunners before Chapter 6 came out.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. I'll check it out right now, actually, real quick on my second monitor because I'm rich, right?
Nice. Yeah, I do have two monitors, but they're both in use at the moment.
Yeah, 2 monitor gang.
I'd like to have a third, but we'll see. Someday we'll get there.
Someday you can have my second one.
Thank you. You can you shipped it from Sweden, yes, to Canada. Yeah. That will be very cost effective right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of looking forward to this point. And I remember just watching at this point, I was super nervous for you because I know I'd watched you doing a little bit of practice on Centripetal Force, and that wasn't very clean. And there's you know, all kinds of things. We're still, you know, even though we're 3/4 of the way through the run, we're still a lot of the hardest tricks and a lot of the
this part.
Oh yeah. These wall gems, I don't know.
Oof.
There's a reason. Yeah, like this backup that you do is just my standard route because I'm not willing to deal with the wall gems as they are often done by the faster runners.
I just keep messing up. I'm like, the run is over at this point.
Yeah, anybody who's watching this, if you want to learn how to speedrun Marble It Up, start with what I do, which is just super speed up the wall and then land on the gem. It is the safest. And as you saw, it's what Atham used for his backup there.
Yeah, I feel like I'm tilting here. Like, I keep missing simple gems.
Yeah, but once you finish Platinum Playground, you can kind of reset, take a moment to breathe before Radius, and yeah, I mean, you lost a pretty significant amount of time, more than 20 seconds on Platinum Playground without any deaths or anything, so it's... Yeah, it kind of puts some things into perspective, like when we're talking about things like off-kilter skip that saves, you know, that whatever it was, 8 seconds versus your gold split. And then you see, well, you know, missing a wall gem on Platinum Playground can effectively cost you, you know, 15, 20 seconds. So, depending on how optimized your run is, a lot of these smaller skips don't matter that much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But good gameplay will obviously save you minutes throughout the course of the run, just having smooth rolling and movement and stuff like that. Yeah. And saved back, well, you know, a little more than half that time from Radius.
Oh, wow.
So I think you had a death in your previous run at the finish, before the checkpoint, or just after the checkpoint, I should say. So safe finish on Radius, and yeah, no, this one I know I'm looking forward to. I haven't watched the VOD or the replay or anything like that, but I just remember something goes crazy and you manage. Something happens here and it's pretty cool. So let's see what that's like.
I need to see exactly what happened as well. Because falling right after this checkpoint is kind of bad.
You probably had no idea what happened when it happened. I guess you just you didn't hold jump in time.
Oh yeah, I just didn't hold jump.
That's just what the case was, yeah.
Silly mistakes.
But you know, what could have cost you 15 seconds actually cost you 4 seconds. So
yep.
Again, a very good save that between that one and Flip the Table, that's basically most of your time save over your previous PB that you would have lost if you hadn't made those saves.
Yeah.
And the mentality that comes with being ahead and not losing your time to silly mistakes like that. So
yep.
It really does make a difference.
I think it's good to not be bound to like certain strategies.
Right.
So you can be okay with doing a different something, you know.
You say that as you don't do a backup on escalation, but it actually works out because you get the first launch second try, which means
this is the first run I did this.
Yeah, which means it was worth restarting on, and this is slightly faster than the backup. But this strategy right here, threading the needle, going right through that little hole and up on top of the turning platforms, that's unique. That's very cool.
Dude. Yeah, man. Feels good when you get those. When you just... it feels like you don't deserve it.
And actually a gold split for you on escalation, despite the fact that you had to restart on the beginning of your first one.
Exactly.
So it does seem like... Yeah, it does seem like you do have the ability to improve your sum of best if you just get a clean escalation first try. But still... Now, once again, we're more than a minute ahead.
We're back in business.
But you're looking ahead to Olympus at this point, aren't you?
I think I'm still just on the level I'm on, you know. Mentally,
you're here on Confluence. But I do remember you mentioning at the beginning of Olympus that you were worried about losing all the time that you were ahead. Due to Olympus shenanigans.
Wait, this is the run where I don't know. It felt unlucky.
I think you had a maybe a single death on this Olympus, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which,
I wonder if it's the unlucky one though, that I'm actually mad about.
yes, it is.
It felt unfair.
Yes, it is. I do have that. I do have that recollection.
I felt cheated.
It could have been saved, but you would have had to anticipate it to know.
Exactly.
I do find that particular spot where, you know, we're kind of commenting on the future here, but you'll see what we mean if you're watching this.
I balked a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's not that much time lost to those because at least you're maintaining control.
Yeah, true.
And you're still pretty close to the speed cap anyways, but
that might be something that like starts to matter a lot in the future.
Well, yeah. The more optimized you get, the more these little things matter, right? And so maybe you could have done, you know, disregarding even the death. Maybe your Olympus run could be 20 seconds faster or whatever from just from better rolling and stuff. And that one's definitely unlucky.
Like, I'm usually never upset because I'm like, yeah, that's my fault. But this one,
no,
I was pissed.
Yeah, but you just missed that ramp by millimeters.
Why did you make me rewatch this? Now I'm mad again.
I'm not making you watch it. You're here voluntarily.
I guess. Maybe I want to be mad.
You know what? You can be mad at Olympus, but at the end of the day, one death on Olympus is pretty reasonable. And, you know, getting a true like and actually deathless Olympus is not something that's going to happen every run, even for top runners like yourself. And you definitely are a top runner. This is a third place time, and comfortably in third place as well. It's not even really close to fourth.
Yeah, I feel safe now for a while.
You feel safe?
Improve.
Were you worried about somebody coming in and taking your third place spot? Which you just got like 2 days before this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, before that you were still above 40 minutes, and this strategy terrifies me.
Yep, me too. At least it's not Umbra's strategy. That's even more disgusting.
I'm pretty sure the one Umbra uses I invented, but...
Oh, maybe it did.
And a small mistake here at the end of Stratosphere, or the beginning of Stratosphere. You forgot to use the item.
You see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Forgetting to press jump, forgetting to use the wings. I don't know. I'm reading chat too much.
Well, I mean, once Tangle is over, you kind of... I mean, unless you're doing skips, I usually just kind of do Stratosphere on autopilot. There's not much that can usually go wrong unless, like, except for a loop skip. Usually. Yep. I guess you can mess up this gravity skip. But here, I mean, you do it cleanly. You don't rush anything. You do the safe strategy with 2 super speeds. Really not much of any kind of time penalty for doing that either, so.
Do people usually use the super speed to slow down when they come up to the skip?
Yep. That's a common strategy. I don't do it. Sure. It's a little faster than what I do. I usually kind of just slow down by natural bouncing.
I feel like that would be horrible on controller, right? Because you have to turn around like.
Yeah, turning around quickly on controller is a little bit of a disadvantage. That's right. You can flick the mouse to turn around immediately on PC, or not on PC, but with keyboard and mouse in a way that you can't really do with controller. Because if you have a mouse next to your controller like I do, I could just reach over and flick the mouse, but... Anyways, finishing a minute and 5 seconds ahead of your previous PB, which had already been like your first sub 40. So that's a huge difference.
Yeah, that's very nice. Very nice.
Very nice. So good run. And how are you feeling after you finished this run?
In the video, or like when I did it?
Yeah. Well, what was going through your head? You got your 38:22.
It's weird because I wasn't really that excited. I feel like I should have been.
Well, I think
I'm
you
not
maybe
sure why.
by the end of it you were still a little bit hung up on that death on Olympus and
Yeah, probably.
the start of Stratosphere. But
Yeah.
really, you should be proud of this because not only did you manage to save time on Stratosphere, but you saved over a minute over your previous PB.
I think it's just because I focus so much on my mistakes. I don't really like. Oh yeah, I did this well. Yay!
Right.
I'm like, okay, I made that stupid ass mistake on this part.
Well, even things like First
Which shouldn't
Strikeout
have
Valley are things that you can't necessarily take for granted. So
Yeah, exactly.
all those little things that you did right are not the ones that stick out in your mind after a run.
Yeah, I think it makes it easy to get in on a new run.
Yeah.
When you don't see a PB as something super special, right?
Right.
Because
Well-
I can still improve.
Yeah, you can still improve. And looking at your chapters here, we've got, chapters 1 and 2 are just kind of mediocre. But still a sub 7 chapter 2, which is a very good start. And then saved a little time on chapter 3, saved lots of time on chapter 4. And you basically managed to keep that time somewhere between a minute 20 and 50 seconds ahead from the end of chapter 4 all the way to the end of the run.
Yeah. I guess chapter 5 and 6 is what I need to work on.
Yeah, it's a good question of what you need to work on. I think overall the whole run was pretty consistent throughout. I think you did decently well on all 6 chapters, and nothing really sticks out as like a big loss. And the only time you really after chapter 3 finished, the only time you really dipped below 50 seconds ahead was on Platinum Playground, and that was just wall gems.
All gems.
Wall gems.
I even have my own strat for them. Feels bad.
Yeah. Feels bad, that's for sure. All right, and so with the formality, let's go ahead and return to here, and we can verify this run because very good time at 38:22, just like the timer says.
Oh, wait. Is that? Yeah, it is. Where am I?
And you also submitted an all trophies run, but I'm gonna leave that one for Death Pony.
It's more exciting.
I'm sure Death Pony will find it's very exciting.
Yeah. You know what's interesting?
What's that?
I was like more excited beating my own PB in trophies than in full game.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
It's
Definitely interesting. All right, and let's look here at the current leaderboard standings.
oh my.
Currently less than 4 minutes behind Space Kitty, and obviously 4 minutes is a pretty big number. But even then, you're 3 minutes ahead of me, and you're what over 9.5 minutes ahead of 10th place. So when it comes to the top 10, you're very comfortably in that top 3, with lots of room for improvement. I mean, even if Hatchet were to beat his own PB by over a minute, you could still stay in the same place, and same thing goes for myself and Savadra. So very good on the standings, and obviously, are you hoping to challenge and catch up with Katz's and Space Kitty? Is that something that you're looking forward to as a goal?
I just need to get stay and skip, right?
You just need to get stay and skip. Yeah, well, if you added stay and skip to your run as is, you would end up with something like a 37:30 as your time. With the first try stay and skip, and everything else being the same.
Yeah, if I lose time in other ways, maybe I can cheat my way.
Maybe you can cheat your way.
The top 2 by getting stay and skip.
Well, who knows? Yeah, stay and skip would definitely makes it within reach for someone like you to potentially challenge Space Kitty if you can get that first try, and you know, clean up some of your other times. And yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm hoping for some Hatchet action here. I want him to beat me.
You want Hatchet to
now.
challenge you? All right. Well, Hatchet is here in chat, and now we know. Now the gauntlet has been thrown down for Hatchet to challenge that 38. I think for myself and Savadra, I mean, DK is also kind of in that category with Hatchet, but he hasn't played in a long time. Myself and Savadra, we're kind of just aiming for sub 40 at this point. But Hatchet definitely could throw down that low 38 or a high 37 to take your third place spot. I'm really interested to seeing that. That rivalry, if it can pop up. Because Hatchet's PB is a couple months old. So hopefully he's grown as a player since then. Yeah, I want to see more runs. I want to see everybody doing more runs. Even though I'm not really a bit of a hypocrite for saying that, because I don't do a ton of runs myself with my 3-month-old PB.
Yeah, you see this cat's PB though? Trash.
3 months old? Yeah, I mean, Cats he hasn't had a PB in 3 months. What's he doing anyways?
What's he doing? Playing challenges or what?
I wouldn't want to beat that PB either. That's a pretty good PB. All right, so yeah, congratulations on your run, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Have yourself a good night.
You too. Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye-bye.